Hey guys, what's going on? This is Scotty Clark with On the Road's Totes, and today we have a new video for you guys. This video is basically a in-depth video of how we actually sew our totes, okay? So we're going to give you some tips and some tricks on what we do whenever we sew our bags together using the TechSew 2750 Pro. Speaking of TechSew 2750 Pro, I'd like to give a huge shout out to our sponsor today, that is TechSew. Guys, if you're interested in anything dealing with sewing, please hit up TechSew. They are the industry lead in sewing machines and great customer service. And once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned. Alright guys, hey, what's going on? Now, welcome back to the shop. You see it's a little messy in here. I gotta do some cleaning. Those of you that don't know, I do a little bit of woodwork too, but that's more of like just a hobby for to do stuff around the house. But back to our project. So like I said before, this video will be focused more of the sewing of our bags, and today I want to start with basically the zipper part of it. Everything has already been pre-cut and pre-punched. This one is a bison leather mixed with a cow leather, our two-tone look. And the first part, we're going to be sewing the straps. I have already done the straps, double side, and glued those up. Everything has already been glued up also. So here we go. Zippers can be one of those things that frustrate a lot of people. In our bag, we have a top zipper that it doesn't go all the way, just to give you that flexibility of having an open tote, but still with some security so nobody can just grab in your bag or anything like that. So that's kind of why we went with the design. We may change it up later on, but for right now, that's what we're going with. So the main thing is you want this double side tape, fabric tape, and it makes this job a lot easier. Usually I just start on one corner. This tape can be very difficult to come apart. Now, here we go. So we're gonna start at the top right here. Just hang tight. Alright guys, so look, we're back and we're about to do this zipper real quick. So mainly this is my setup, guys. What I normally do is I just take the zipper. I'm going to show you kind of like what I do whenever I do my zippers on here to try to get my line to look a lot cleaner. So what I would do is, I will have all the bunching on the back. I would just bring it all the way to the end, right? And I just started right there. I started right at the end. I go ahead and bring this down. I usually do it on my zippers, and make sure you pull the string before starting on the stitch. So I pull the string and go ahead and lower the lever down, and I just try to stay on there. I'm gonna turn on my light real quick. Hopefully it don't mess up too much so I can actually see what I'm doing. I love this light. So here we go, and I'm gonna go 1 stitch, and I'm gonna go 2 stitch. Alright, and that's what I like about this TechSew sewing machine, that it allows the actual stitch to finish inside of the leather. So it's easy whenever I bring my presser foot up, I can just turn it just like that and the stitch is already there. And what I'm gonna do is just line it back up right there, and I'm gonna keep this thread off to the side. That's going to be important for the stitch to be clean, because if you don't do that, what's going to end up happening is you're gonna have some bunching in the other thread right here at the end. So after I do that, I'm just gonna come back through and I'm gonna start slow. There we go, and I'm gonna stitch again slowly. Now once I develop my line, all right, I can just go ahead and just guide my leather through. I usually keep one hand on this side and the other hand, and I love the speed reducer because it allows me to have full control over my stitching. And I'm just gonna go ahead and go through this line. And another cool thing about this machine is this. I'm gonna turn the light off so you can probably see it. So they have a laser. You can probably see the laser on here, and that laser will also help you stay on course. Right now it's a little bright in here, so I really don't need it a whole lot. I'm just gonna go ahead and not use it, but normally when I'm doing black leather, something like that, I definitely use it so I can see my stitch line. I mean, not my stitch line, but my engraving line. And I usually like to go a little bit slow with these things. Don't want to speed through it. And when I get to the end, guys, I'm gonna show you how that end look. Okay, bear with me. And I'm just gonna continue to go down. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna speed this part of the video up, and I will let you guys see the end result. Okay. Now I'm coming to the end of my stitch, and I'm gonna show you what I do for the finish off my stitch also, just so I won't have that bulkiness and that bunched up look on the end of the stitch. So just watch. I'm coming towards the end, one, and now I'm at the end. So since the TechSew has already grounded my stitch already, I just turn it around and I can actually see my stitches, and I could go right into that same exact hole So I'm gonna go 1. And man, this like 1 stitch at a time press, that was like genius. I love this motor because it actually does that. And then I can just go 1 more, and that's it. And what I'm gonna do is press the back of it, which is gonna lift up my needle, bring it up, and that's it. And I'm gonna show you guys how it looks. Let me go ahead and snip it here and here. I'm gonna cut the thread real quick. All right. And I want you to see this. See how the end of this look. Let me see if I get it focused. Can I get it focused? Are you gonna focus on it? It's trying to focus on me. All right. So I don't know if you can see this, but right here, the end stitch on this is nice. Maybe if I move my face out the way. Nope. Look at Nikon doing a pretty good job of tracking me. But anyways, right here you can see the stitch line, and you can see it right here also. Looks great. This is something. Here, let me try it because I'm not satisfied with that, guys. Okay, see, here it goes. So you see how clean it is right there? Here we go. There we go. See how clean it is? It's not all bunched up. See? Clean. So I like that method on doing this, and then you just come in and you basically burn the ends of the what you have left. Alright guys, look, I'm back now. So here we are. We're getting ready to do the actual belt buckle. So I'm going to use my drop down guide right here, which is really convenient. And basically I just come in. I don't want to start like at the end, because you know you see the lock-in stitch on there, and I'm not really trying to show that. So I wanted, you know, my lock-in where I start and stop, I want it to be as subtle as possible. So what I do with this is I go ahead and I pull my string back, and I just bring my needle down into the leather right on my line. So let's see here. And I'm just moving my my drop down guide over, bringing it in. Some people say it moves. I usually just have my tension on there kind of tight, but where I'm able to move it. I haven't had an issue with it moving on me. But I mean, I recommend that you know, you can lock it down if you want to. But this is just my personal preference. And I'm going to bring it down. And so the good thing about this is, because I want to try to keep it clean, I'm gonna start with a back stitch, okay? And all I do is I bring the lever down on the side, and because I have the drop down guide, I know that I'm gonna go back exactly and forth in the same stitch holes. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do a slow back stitch, 1, back stitch again. All right, now after I finish that, I'm gonna go ahead and release, bring the presser foot up to make sure that I actually get this thread right here, so I won't stitch it under a stitch that's already been placed. That's one of the things that you got to remember, because you'll be trying to pull it out and it gets a little crowded in there. So I'm just gonna come back, and I'm gonna go back 1 and 2, and now I can go ahead and go through this belt, and I can pick up speed pretty fast now because I have that done. And here we go. All right. And so now I'm getting close to the end. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit, and see here. Go ahead and pull this the other way to get it out of my way. Get this thread. I got thread all over the place. All right, so I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna go right till I get to the circle. All right, now at this point I'm gonna bring up the edge guide, right? Because this is a tight circle. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause right quick, and I'm gonna bring you guys in so you can see exactly how I deal with the corners and the circles, and in just a second. All right guys, now we're back at this corner. It's gonna be kind of hard to see, but hopefully you guys are able to see. Sorry about that little bit of shake. So I'm at the corner right now, and as I raise this press foot up, you can see that I have a little bit of range right there. Now, the cool thing is on this machine, it's numbered. So in each one of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, these are all millimeters. All right. So I've noticed that sometimes when I get here, I can go, it's more like 1, and this will take it down to like half of a millimeter. Because I see that I need to basically shorten this up. So I go ahead and I'm gonna use the one touch deal on here. 1, and then I bring the press foot up. I have to make that stitch, because remember with the TechSew, it actually gonna plant that stitch for me. So I can raise press foot up, keep the tension on there, and I can see where my line at that I had already pre-drawn, and I could go to that one. There we go. Raise it up again, and I can see exactly where my line is at. Raise it up again. I see where my line is at. There we go. Raise it up again. I see where my line is ending. All right. And as you can see, when I come out, I'm right on the dime of where I need to be. I could just go ahead and bring down my edge guide, and make sure, don't make this mistake, make sure you set it back to what you was at, where you was at, back on 1, because trust me, I have made that mistake plenty of times, and it's not a good feeling. Definitely after you've done all that gluing up, and then you just go ahead and finish it up. And there we go. And I'm gonna speed through this, and I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about with the bunching at the belt whenever you finish and complete your belt. So hang tight, and I'll show you that in just a second. Alright guys, so here I'm back, and we're coming to the end of the stitch for the belt. So I'm going to go ahead and just tap so I can make sure that I go right back into the spot where I first started at, and I did that. And here I go, I'm going to back stitch twice. Just 1 and 2. Alright, now lift it up. Alright, so pull this thing out of here. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys. Alright, so let me finish with the snippet. Alright, so here we go. We have here, alright, we have here the start and finish right here. Alright, so you see how cleaner it looked? Usually you have a front stitch, a back stitch, and then a front stitch for the lock one in. But since I use the method that I use, it's only 2 across there. And then, you know, with leather, when you knock down a stitch, it'll be a cleaner look. So that's why I use that method. So, and it works pretty good. So it's not a whole lot. So I'll see you guys back in the shop after I finish this next belt. So stay tuned. Alright guys, look, we're back. I did a little bit more. I just added the stitch to the back, to the zipper, and across the top half of the bag that we're building. Some pretty basic stuff. Same thing that we did on the zipper side. So it's nothing really too important on that one. We also burnished the belts, the buckles, and also pre-punched those also with the rivets to get ready for that. Now, what we're about to do is actually attach the top half to the bottom half, which gives you the two-tone. Now this can look as though it's a problem-like issue, but it's really not. I'm gonna show you how I'll do that. Now the first thing I do is I start over with the bottom half, and I usually make mine, because I don't do a rolled edge on mine, I actually just burnish the edge because I like that look better on some bags than on others. So on this particular one, I'm not doing the rolled edge, I'm just burnish the edge. And now what I do is I come in and I get about a 3/4 of an inch deal on there, and here we go. So come in and yep, it's already a 3/4 of an inch already. All right, so I come in and I make my mark right here on each end piece, just like that. I'm gonna make my mark. Then I come to the other side, go to the other side, and I make my mark at 3/4 of an inch. Then my main ruler, and I just draw my line across here, 3/4 of an inch, and to 3/4 of an inch, and then I mark it. Just like that. I think I slipped a little bit. Yeah, I did. That's not good. Nah, it's behind everything anyway. So anyways, so come back, make my mark 3/4 of an inch on both sides, and now it's marked. Come over and make it 3/4 inch. There we go. Yeah, mark here, 3/4 inch. And now what I'm gonna do is put this thing right across here, 3/4 inch, right here, 3/4 inch, and so come over to the main part of the bag, and I do the same thing, 3/4 of an inch, and I want to mark that. Come down here, same, and I mark that one. And what I like to do is with this one, because of the fact that the flesh is on this side and not the suede, like back here, in order to get the glue to stick before I sew it up, I need to scratch this up. So what I like to do is I come in with my straight edge after I already have it, and I just lay it down here 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch. And then I come back with my scratching tool, and I just basically scrape up the leather, and this is just so that the adhesive will stick to it, and I put it together so when I go take it and to sew it up, that it would bond better and stay in place while I actually stitch it together. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed up this process, and I will fast forward until I get ready to actually put these together, because that's the next problem area. Alright guys, now we're back to this again. Now here's the tricky part. This is gluing it up. So normally what I like to do is just go ahead and glue it up. The type of glue that I use is Tear Mender right here. Pretty good glue. I like the fact that it allows me to actually apply the glue, and it dries like a clear color. But then I can heat it up again in order to get it to stick, and it gives me a little bit of play, but this stuff does a great job. So here we go. Yeah, speed up this process. Alright guys, here we go. Now we're back. So I have this side glued and I have this side glued. So I'm going to show you the trick that I use. So first off, I just go ahead and I heat it up, heat the glue up so it becomes really taffy. And you can see the color start to clear out. And that's cool because you don't get any ooze of glue that comes out. Now the way I do this is I have my marked line right there. I always leave the suede side up towards me, and I lay the skin side down. I find that line, and basically I match up the corners right here, and I'll just match up that corner and gently just lay it down. I don't pull anything like that. I just gently lay it down, and there we go. And you come to the end. Sometimes you might have a little left over right here. You just cut that off. Once I get that, just come. There we go. And then you flip it over, and you see, perfect, straight across there. And then you can just come in. If you have a little excess of leather that's showing over here, excess leather, you just come in and just basically cut that out. Sometimes it stretches in the process, so you'll run into that, or you just may have cut a piece a little bit longer than what you should have. So that's it. But anyways, you just come back and cut that off, and then repeat on the other side. So I will go ahead and fast forward through that. Alright guys, we're back. Now we're about to do what most people believe is the hardest part about doing a two-tone bag, which I think it could be, but basically making my two markings right here on the leather. So this is what we're going to do. First thing you want to do is go ahead and make sure you get your needle halfway into your leather right here. Next, what we're going to do is adjust our drop down guide. Now, because I had it at a lower level, what will happen is if I try to go through without making any adjustments, it's going to pull on the leather. We don't want that. Well, there's adjustments. So with this TechSew machine, you get this little tool right here, which is helpful. So you go in, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it up a tad bit. So I turn it in, and it's coming up. You see it, it moves up, and I think that's good because now it clears my leather. But now my next adjustment, I can just push it over here, and what I would do is once it bump up, I give it a little bit more of a nudge, and then that's it. And you can come in and you can lock that in just by turning this right here. Okay, mine is pretty much locked in. So next up, just go ahead and drop the presser foot. One thing that I've always note is that make sure you still have your line and try to follow your line, even though you have the edge guide. Edge guide is more of a help, mainly because this is a big piece, and it could get caught. The zipper can get caught on here, and it could cause your leather to do this number right here. So you want to still try to guide it and make sure that everything is clear. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start my stitch. First, I'm going to go ahead and pull on this thread. I'm going to do slow stitch one, and here we go, another one, and I'm going to go ahead and back stitch, back stitch, and back stitch. And now I can go ahead and start down this line. And on this, I'm not in a big rush because I want everything to be smooth. So basically I just take my time and go through. And another reason why too, you don't want to go too fast and then something snag. I've had that happen before where my zipper will actually snag on the back of the table, and it will cause it to go sideways, and you have a sideways stitch. Here we go. Now we back. What I did behind the scenes was I added the straps to the bag and the rivets for the straps, and then also rivet the sides of the bag in, mainly so I can line this up and for extra security up at the top of these bags. To give it a little bit more strength. Now I use bonded nylon thread, which is really strong, so it's probably a little bit of overkill, but hey, you know, that's sometimes overkill is a good thing. So what I'm gonna do is basically just go ahead and lower my needle down on here and press a foot, still do a little bit of a pull. I have my drop down guide already set for where I wanted it, and I just start my process, and here we go. And then I come in and do a back stitch just to lock it in, and we're off. And usually when it get kind of close, I go ahead and take it off, and we go to the next one. All right, and to the next one. All right, now right in here, remember this is what a two-tone is meeting at, so this is a thicker part of the leather. So when you come to this part right here, you want to see how far the machine can go by itself. So I'm gonna go just one at a time, and I can see right here with my presser foot, it's pressing up against, which means that I'm gonna have to help it over because the spring on the inside of here is adjusted for right here. So I'm gonna need to help it because it's such a big jump. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and I'm gonna grab the other side right here, and I'm going to slowly do these one touch threads, stitches, I'm sorry. And here we go, one touch stitch, and I'm going to just do that as I climb this hill and helping it along. There we go. All right, helping it along, just like that. And right here when you get to the end of it, right, I'm gonna do one more over it. All right, now I'm gonna back stitch across it because this is so thick. I want to make sure I have extra security right here in this seam. So what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and slowly back stitch. There we go. And I'm gonna help it the other way. There we go. And we're gonna back stitch all the way back over. All right, now that we have that, we're gonna come back across and finish it off. And so remember, you're gonna have to help it back over the same way. And you wanna go slow, you don't wanna go fast in this area right here, because your stitch will break. This machine is powerful, but it will definitely bind. And even towards the end, you need to help it, like right here with the presser foot at this point, when it goes through the drop down, it'll be hard to pull because it's such a incline in the presser foot. There you go. And then once you get over that hump, you go ahead and take the next one off and go. And we're gonna go ahead and finish it off. back stitch. Alright, and now we got that. Now, some people don't do this. I do. It could be one of those overkill deals again, but I like to run 2 stitches along the seams, like this area right here, mainly because they carry so much of the weight. So it's always good to have the extra security. So I'm gonna do that, and when we come back, we'll be working on getting the bottom part. Alright guys, now we're back. So we have just did our double stitch along the side. So now time to do the part that most people hate, and that is right here. But I'm gonna show you what I do to actually do this part. So first, let's go ahead and take this table off. That's another thing I like about this machine. You have a cylinder arm, but you can also convert it to be a table. So if you don't have a whole lot of space, this makes sense for you. Basically, all you do is just lift up and get it around this belt right here, and you just take it off. And now I have a cylinder arm. All right, move that away. And sometimes I take this screw off right here, just so I can have a little bit more room to turn this thing. All right, and now we have that off. So this is what I do. Whenever I get ready to do these right here, I basically open the bag a little bit, and to where I can get it to place like a V right here, right? So I bring it in and I get that established. Right now that I have it established, I just go ahead and basically from this side, I just squeeze down on the sides right here, and I just squeeze on the sides. Just go ahead and clip these. Probably do like 2 clips right here, and about 2 clips right here. All right, and just like that. And now I have it. And you can move it around. And usually I'll just bring this top down to where it's even right here up top, because remember, you're gonna cut a little bit off after you sew it. And then I just drop 2 right here, so that is even. And you'll see that you have a little space right here. That's cool, because that's gonna get cut off. All right, and then I usually just come over here, which is cool. Oh my gosh, this would make a cylinder arm. And the TechSew 2750 Pro, the machine that I go to, because of the fact that I can just take the table off and just go straight back to work. There's no stopping. If you was doing this on a table, it'd be hard, because you have like the bag like up here, and then you'd be trying to lay this flat and go across. But now that I have the cylinder arm part of it, I can just tuck this under right here and just focus on the area that I'm sewing. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold my thread, if I can find it. Here we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold my thread and start my stitch. And this is really easy. And here we go. Start my stitch. All right, now I'm going to back stitch. All right, now I go. And so right here, when I get to this part, I kind of just like lay it sideways like this. And it's the same scenario. You're gonna have to help it over, but I like to at least come to it. All right. Now when I get here, when I come to it, I just move my clamp down, come on the side, because I'm gonna have to help it over just like I helped it over on the double side. Here we go. And there we go. And you see. Then we're gonna go 1 over. Then we're gonna go back and back stitch over this area here. All right. And then we're gonna come back over. Just like that. There we go. Now I could go ahead and move this clip out the way and angle my bag. There we go. And just continue on in the stitch. Alright, and now I'm gonna back stitch it. And I come back. Now here's another thing that I do. I want to show you guys for the integrity of the stitch. So when I came over this way, basically the stitch is down low and it's picking up everything on this side. But when I came here, it's like a drop off. So to give it integrity on both sides, I do a double stitch down here, but I take the bag and I turn it around this way. Alright, so now when I come in this side to get the same strength of the stitch, and you go ahead and take these off after that. After you have the first one, you just take these off, and just like that. We're gonna take them off, and then we're gonna come back across like this and grab this. All right, cool. Now we got it, and just gonna start my stitch, and we're gonna back stitch. All right, and now we off. Alright guys, look, here we are at the end of our long journey together on sewing this tote bag. One of our good selling tote bags, actually one of our best sellers. We got like 2 best sellers, I don't know. They run neck and neck, but this is another one. So thank you guys for staying and just seeing how you know how much better it is to do one of these bags with the TechSew sewing machine. So let's get ready to flip this thing out. Y'all see what we did, okay? Here we go. First thing I like to do is just reach at the bottom. This is never easy, and just grab. If it's a softer leather and you have nails, I recommend wearing leather gloves whenever you do this so you won't scratch anything up. But this one has a little bit tougher temper on it, so we can just roll it out like that. So here we go. And we're just gonna roll and pull and all that good stuff. And yeah, this is usually the hard part. Here we go. And we almost there, guys. I think we are. Let's see here. I might be wrong. Nope, I'm not. So normally when I get it like this, I go ahead and go towards the edges just to get those to come out just like that. And here we go. And bring that edge out, bring that edge out, and you can see some of the pull coming through on this all tan bottom. You can see the color shifting around. All right, and what I want to do is flip this in, flip that back out. All right, and here, then we want to bring this up like this. All right. And there you have it, guys. We are all done. This tote is ready to be cleaned up, conditioned, and put up for stock. So, you know, here we go, and photographed. So thank you guys again once for watching. Also another thank you to my sponsor, TechSew, for sponsoring this video. And guys, please stay tuned to more videos. Now, back to the studio. Hey guys, welcome back. We hope that we were able to give you some valuable information, and if you like the content that we're putting out, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button. Whenever we put out new content, you'll be the first to be notified. We here at Art and Rose Totes would like to say thank you again for watching our video, and we'll see you later. Thanks.